to look up the reason Nicki Minaj decided to say F her whole fan base.
Grief is one of the most painful and confusing things that any of us can endure. When navigating it, the strange cocktail of emotions that it conjures up, ranging from loss to regret, sadness, and anger, can make us act out of character or struggle to regulate ourselves as we usually would. But we all know that it's an integral part of the human experience, and so we generally cut people a lot of slack when they're going through it. Although this isn't always the case if it doesn't register as genuine. And at the moment, no one is under the microscope like Erika Kirk.
Exactly.
Just a few months ago, the world was collectively rocked by the news that her right-wing commentator husband, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated while speaking at a campus in Utah.
Breaking news out of Utah Valley University.
There's an emergency response there, flooded by law enforcement.
The conservative activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot during an event.
And despite the fact that everything would suggest that she's suffering like never before, his wife has not been given a whole lot of grace by the public. Because in the eyes of many onlookers, there is something dark going down. And the more that people do, the more they're not liking what they see at all, leading to way more scrutiny on a widow than you would ever expect.
Serve a just God, and I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign.
Do you see her eyes? Do you see that the way that they change shapes when she talks about certain things? Those are crazy eyes.
Just. And so let the Lord handle that.
Would Charlie have forgiven his killer?
He's in heaven.
That's what a fucking murderer and a psychopath looks like.
She said what? He's what?
He's in heaven.
What?
Would Charlie look at his face? Look at her face. Watch her face.
His killer?
Watch.
He's in heaven.
Fucking spooky.
What was Trump?
And like held on to Trump.
They bring this back up. What are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? No, at this point, it's what the conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. What? Stop in the name of God. Amen.
She.
Now, did you see this? This is the J.D. Vance situation.
Man.
This is her with J.D. Vance.
I ain't saying she wrong, I ain't saying she right, but she can't even grieve the way she want to grieve. People grieve.
Look, watch. Look where she held his head.
Because to some of his supporters, it really seems like her taking on the mantle of her slain husband might destroy whatever legacy he had hoped to leave. As we know, Erika first truly emerged in the wake of his slaying that shocked the world. Alongside a video where she showed herself conversing with Charlie in his casket, Erika truly stepped into the spotlight when she addressed the world, declaring that his message would never...
She's been very, very public. Did you see his
She took
funeral?
a picture of him and her?
Of her grieving over top of him in the casket. Yep. And holding his hand. I posted it.
My name is Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband...
What kind of Owens about him?
So Candace Owens and her had a separate had a meeting recently. They met on FaceTime, and that she basically, I don't know, they didn't go public with the interview. So it's all kind of like he said, she said, you know, Candace Owens is very out there with hers.
I'm surprised she didn't respond.
But she's very into this, like, a lot.
Mission was powerful before. You have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. When I got home last night, Gigi, our daughter, just ran into my arms. And I talked to her and she said,
Our arms,
I miss you. I said, I miss you too, baby. She goes, where's Daddy? What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3. I said, baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus.
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love and always love.
Before taking the stage, both Erika and her team probably envisioned this as an empowering moment, which showed her as an empathic woman who could rise above the terrible pain she'd endured. But ultimately, this isn't how audiences perceived it. Instead, the vast majority of people basically felt it was performative. After the public basically seemed eager to reject her, you would think that Erika may have retreated to the sidelines and focused on her family. Instead, she wound up taking the reins of Turning Point USA and doing her utmost to promote Charlie's posthumously released book. This led to a lot of interviews, but it was clear that this wasn't something that came natural to her. And with every quote or public appearance, the comments eviscerated her.
I feel like they were almost directed to me, and he's basically saying, stop.
Why you feel like they were directed towards you? Why you feel like they were directed towards you? Guilty? Guilty conscious?
A little guilty.
Does not revolve around you. You need a moment to breathe. You need a moment to recalibrate. If you are so filled with busyness and the noise, the Lord cannot use you. So please rest, be with the Lord, be with your family, and just know that there is so much more out there than the little busyness that you find to be drowning in it sometimes.
By now, we know that the internet can be mean-spirited just for the sake of it. Just look at some of the memes that have emerged about her husband. But for Turning Point supporters, Erika's decision to become the face of the movement presented deeper problems. For starters, there were concerns that she wasn't quite the grieving widow people believed her to be.
But it's interesting, what I miss the most, what really just hits me hard, is when I'm in the grocery store and I see his hot sauce. I want to buy it. Or it's the little things, his clothes everywhere.
Are you promoting? When you're in the store, you want to buy his stuff. Are you promoting?
Yeah, this is weird. I didn't see this. This is weird.
Excuse me, but it's the little things, and I know that people who have experienced loss totally understand what I'm saying. It's the small things that just get you. It's the visual of Taddy coming home, and to the world he was Charlie Kirk, but to us he was my love of my life, and my children's dad. I'm so sorry.
Before long, it got so bad that people were decoding her mannerisms to try and determine her true motives, while many of them simply longed for the time where she wasn't a public-facing figure.
And this is not a grieving woman. We had a grief counselor on here. We had a body language expert on here. Both of them said, the grief counselor said, this is not grief. The everybody grieves differently thing. I know that. I have seen plenty of women grieve in my lifetime. I have seen that personally in my life. People that I know watching women grieve. They do. They all grieve differently. But this is not grief.
We owe Charlie Kirk an apology. We were like, how dare you say women should stay at home? But now that we've seen a lot of Erika, it's like, oh, okay. I still don't agree, but I do get where you were coming from. But if she thought things were going bad beforehand, it was nothing compared to what was to come when Charlie's supporters believed that she crossed a line she couldn't come back from. During an event, Erika was seen hugging Vice President J.D. Vance in a way that some people deemed to be a little too close for comfort. And when it was paired with quotes like this, where she lavished praise on Vance, these were not the best optics.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD, and Vice President JD. Yes, I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight.
Are you having sex with him? Like, you what? Is this the time to be talking about what you see in another man?
About your dead husband?
Because he understands the fight that we're up against, and he can articulate that in a way that transcends. He's an amazing man.
Suddenly, she reached.
Don't let us find out 5 years down the line that you and him
was really fucking around the whole time.
And set him Charlie Kirk up and try to make it seem like it was something else and it was your turn.
So this guy might be getting in this video on what's going down. Somebody said that they saw Erika Kirk at a hotel nearby with one of the top CIA agents that was supposed to be on the Utah campus site that day at a hotel room with him though, and this was coming from a valuable source. He came on Candace Owens' show.
She was with him.
She was with him, and he was like, "You want to know how I know?" He was like, "It's the eyes. I will never forget eyes like that."
Damn.
Right.
Major blowback from some portions of the right, while others were quick to point out that she is documented as being friends with JD's wife, Usha. In response, she claimed it was commonplace for her to touch people like that.
I'm starting to cry. He says he's so proud of you, and I say, God bless you, and I touch the back of his head. Anyone who I've hugged that I have touched the back of your head when I hug you, I always say, God bless you. That's just me. If you want to take that out of context, go right ahead. Again, that to me shows that you need a hug more than anyone else. So, if anyone...
They were acting like you touched the back of his ass.
I feel like I wouldn't get as much hate if I did that.
However, a whole lot of the social media world that you would have expected to be behind her kept claiming that there was something inherently fraudulent about her behavior. Among the main sticking points was the frequent claim that she was shedding some crocodile tears in her interviews, as well as attending lavish fundraisers at Mar-a-Lago.
Let everyone see what true evil is. It's interesting. What I miss the most, what really just hits me hard, is when I'm in the grocery store and I see his hot sauce. I want to buy it. Or it's the little things, you know, his clothes everywhere. Excuse me, but it's the little things. And I know that people who have experienced loss totally understand what I'm saying. It's the small things that just get you. It's the visual of, you know, Taddy coming home, and to the world he was Charlie Kirk, but to us he was my love of my life and my children's dad. I'm so sorry. Understandable. Excuse me, but it's those little things where
I feel like them tears fake as
I know, like how can she turn that on and off?
Take his phone Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and it was just all us. And that's what I always wanted to make so special for him, was coming home. I'd always say, baby, I don't care what time you get home. Home is here for you. Your food will never be cold. It might sit out for a little bit, but I'll reheat it. It's fine. And I just want to encourage spouses.
I said, that sounds good, but damn.
Right.
I say that type of shit sound good. Like, I don't care when you come home, just home is home. Like, but like, I don't want her to kill a motherfucker. Oh, excuse me. Allegedly.
Get mad. It's so easy.
Although you could once again make the argument that everyone grieves differently and that perhaps she doesn't come across well in the media, individuals who've seen her at times where the cameras are off are just as unimpressed.
I've seen Erika Kirk in real life at church since Charlie died, and I will tell you that the performance in real life is as bad as it is on TV. I'm talking reserved front row pew, bringing her whole entourage, not her children, showing up late, tapping her eyes when she walks back from communion because it's the one time that the whole church can see her because she's in the front row. And before you jump down my throat and say, oh, it's security purposes, no, it's not, because this church has a side section that is closer to the exit that she comes in and out of, and where only probably about 5% of the church would actually be able to see her if that's where she was sitting. But no, front row seat, the whole circus.
As her persona unravels and is dissected piece by piece, Erika is now facing the very real prospect of the past coming back to haunt. Because once they began to actively distrust the image she put forth,
now, I understand everybody got their worries and feel a certain way about certain things. But what if this girl was just true, really hurt and going through it? That'd be fucked up just to put that on this woman.
There's evidence.
But they do black people like that all the time, so...
Definitely do.
Of every little thing from her past, which contradicts the holier-than-thou image she's portraying today. So here's what we know about Erika before she met Charlie. For one thing, she was a model who wasn't afraid to show a little skin. Along the way, she was even named Miss Arizona.
Scottsdale, Kaylin Williams.
And she needed that bag. She needed that bag.
And you want to know who
she needed that bag so she could get back into the entertainment world, and she need that money because she know it takes that cash.
She was a social experiment. She on a dating show too. You ain't even hear the half of it.
Shit.
Audience, your new Miss Arizona
right now?
USA 2012 is Erika Kirk.
Afterwards, she appeared on a Bravo reality show known as Summer House, which is billed as following a group of young single friends from New York City who share a rented house in the Hamptons every summer weekend, balancing city jobs with a fun, party-filled lifestyle of romance, drama, and escape as Carl.
I think you're a bright light in a very dark place.
So let's go grab mojito.
That's not necessarily anything crazy, except for her claiming repeatedly that she didn't date before meeting Charlie for around 5 years.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way.
Did she say this ad though?
It was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. My situation was a little different. I wouldn't do it.
What y'all saying on the internet? Is she the roommate that she was talking about?
Literally. So this is how good the Lord is. He knew that because I was not dating in New York City, he knew that in order for me to know that that was my man, he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview.
But it takes very minimal digging to realize that is a complete fabrication. However, what many people did not...
As a job interview?
Shorty, if you lying about that, after he died, you number one suck that. You number one.
You were doing quiet.
Is that not only did she date, but appeared to be in a relationship with a colleague of Charlie's. The man in question is Cabot Phillips, now senior editor at the Daily Wire and previous editor-in-chief at Campus Reform, who also worked on digital grassroots for Marco Rubio's 2016 campaign. But his most notable role came as Charlie's producer. In a bizarre twist, deleted posts appear to suggest that
one thing the internet gonna do, they gonna find some shit.
He gonna
dig you can't get away with murder around here. Not in this time.
Was actually with Erika prior to Kirk, and that there was a lot of effort made to cover it up. In addition to saying that she didn't date, Erika has also stated that she didn't drink. So how exactly do you explain this quote from an article written by her where she talks about happy hour with my favorite human, JT Massey, conveniently my incredible boyfriend, or these posts which her activity promoting alcohol or hosting a club night? Yeah, not a good look. Once all this was out in the public domain, there were some who felt that there was just no way back for Charlie's widow. All credibility is gone. Hypocrisy at its finest. It's easy to assess Erika's personality from here. She should be held accountable for telling falsehoods to paint a perfect, pretty picture.
Right.
But while all this contradicts certain aspects of her current public appearance, delving deeper and following the money has led some people to think that what's truly going on with her is even crazier than just her seeming a little deceptive.
And Tyler Boyer isn't the only one that's close to orphanages in Eastern Europe around TPUSA. Erika Kirk herself is another one. She's been tied to orphanages in Eastern Europe, specifically in Romania, through a program called Romanian Angels since she was a teenager. When she was 17 years old, she founded Romanian Angels as a nonprofit. So in effect, since Erika's childhood, she's been running orphanages in Eastern Europe, a trafficking hotbed. Is that normal activity for a 17-year-old girl to be involved with? Of course it's not. But when your father is a high-ranking member of the military-industrial complex linked to Israel's Iron Dome and American arms sales to the pariah state, and when your mother is geofencing and data mining, and she's a propagandist who's tied directly to the Israel...
So they basically put all their troubles and all their problems essentially on their daughter, because if they ever get into some fraud, if they ever get into the business close, it's in their daughter's name. It makes it look like they're doing it for their daughter, you know what I mean, so she can have something. But yeah, their whole family been crooks.
Foreign Affairs Ministry, maybe hanging around orphanages really isn't all that unusual.
Because Stu Peters can get a little carried away, let's try and determine exactly what is a factor. Yes, Erika ran an evangelical ministry in Romania that contracted with the U.S. military and fostered children for adoption. The organization was based in the same area in Romania where trafficking rampant. There is nothing to suggest
and it's with
they
the
were
U.S.
involved.
military.
As for her parents,
Like her father.
they are divorced, with Erika's mom spending nearly 2 decades working for General Electric before founding multiple companies in the network security industry. Meanwhile, her father, Kent France, worked as a
And when you start funding that, before or after her husband died?
brand manager for Raytheon, a defense contractor with U.S. government ties, including Israel. For many people,
and you hear Israel.
this is an intriguing development, especially when it comes to comments Erika made in a new CBS town hall alongside Barry Wise.
Charlie always would say very clearly, Jew hate was brain rot. He would always say it. We've been to Israel twice together, and to be able to walk in the place where our Lord...
Hold up. So you trying to promote violence or push the narrative of somebody hates your husband, your husband hating somebody, so whoever dealt with your husband and loved your husband can get on the bandwagon? We doing this while he passed away? We pushing narratives while your husband is gone?
This is crazy.
And see the Bible come to life in Technicolor. How could you hate that place?
Now, no one is suggesting Kirk was an anti-Semite. Erika paints a picture of Charlie as a man who was unquestionably in favor of Israel. And to put it bluntly, this is not necessarily true. For one thing, he regularly critiqued the Israeli government's behavior in Palestine, as well as their intersections with U.S. politics at large.
I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. I mean, that's, and I don't use that term lightly, okay?
Before Charlie Kirk was killed, he said Charlie Kirk fears that Israel will kill him if he continues ahead, providing...
I'm not going to name names, but I was told by somebody close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. And Candace Owens even said the same thing. She got text messages like, I have a feeling, he texted her, I have a feeling something might happen in my stomach. I have a gut feeling that something might happen when I go here.
For critics,
Charlie kind of starting to question the amount of influence that Israel has in U.S. not only domestic politics, but foreign politics as well.
I just don't think we should go to war with Iran. Is a nuclear weapon Iran a threat to America? Probably. Could be. It's a threat to Israel, but is it a threat to America? I mean, India has nuclear weapons. Pakistan has nuclear weapons.
But is it a threat to
he went to the lengths of arguing that Jeffrey Epstein was an Israeli intelligence agent.
That's what it said on his shirt.
Whose shirt?
On Epstein's shirt, Israel Intelligent Agency.
Ooh, all that shit
Defense.
Connected. All that,
That's
all
what
is
it said.
connected.
Or it said
all
on
is
his
connected.
shit.
Trump got something to do with this too.
Are an opportunistic grifter who weaponizes your gender to demean women, and you are a walking, talking, breathing example.
Why they look like that could be the male version of her? Or that's her older fucking mother.
That's her mother or her distant cousin.
Like, that's somebody related to her. They playing with us. We looking at the same people with
in different fonts.
As to why nobody, number one, wants to be a Christian, and number two, wants to be a female hypocrite such as yourself. Your language, your organization makes women less safe all across the...
If she don't talk the same time she talk to the robot.
Your deceased husband was an unrepentant racist and a homophobe, and women are a lot more empathetic than you are, Erika. A lot of women who have been mothers or have had attachments in their lives that felt very nurturing are able to transfer, like I'm able as a mother, when I had a child, to transfer the empathy that I felt for my child, to transfer that to all people. And I think about a woman.
Above all, those who haven't warmed up to Erika Kirk just can't shake the sense that she's insincere or profit-minded. Erika Kirk was selling Charlie Kirk merch less than 24 hours after he was shot. She is disturbing to watch. If she thinks she is subtle, she is wrong. Ultimately, she does have people defending her. You just have to dig into corners of Reddit like subreddits built for unpopular opinions. And even then, the way people have been treating her has been genuinely disturbing. As one Reddit user put it, watching how people are treating her has been genuinely disturbing. The woman's husband was shot in the back of the neck 3 months ago. She has 2 small chips.
Tell you one thing, Twitter and these blogs, you gonna get the most juice out of all of them because people ain't gotta show their face and they can just type. So people ain't gotta show their face and they can just see words. They gonna turn up. They be like, I was right there. I seen the gunman and everything.
And she's being accused of being complicit in his murder, not truly caring about him, being a bad mother because she looks over his organization, trying to sleep with the married vice president. They also point out what keeps happening is people completely blending 2 different conversations into one. and according to them, criticizing Turning Point itself is a fair game. But where they say it crosses the line is when that criticism turns into judging her character or how she's grieving. Wherever you stand on Erika, it's going to take something remarkable to turn this tide, because at the moment, she is severely struggling to get people to even hear her out. Never mind cosign.
Y'all see Nikki, right? Y'all see Nikki. This is what I was talking about in the beginning of this video.
Word she says. And for someone looking to replicate their husband's business model that involved exactly that, it's a real tight spot for her to try and make a living in. And I want to thank y'all for watching today's video. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.